problems over here in the Civil War in general. Basically, it ended up being just me fighting them until they had 0 manpower, and then slowly pushing in once they had just nothing left. But I've came back once I got enough political power to put Adiago in charge, because now we could continue on her path. Sweep the remainder. Equestria has fallen, but our work remains unfinished. Stalingrad remains a disgusting communist thorn on our side. Don't need to worry about that. And the Crystal Empire harbors the Pillar Mistbane. An illegitimate breakaway and a realm banished just as we were. Both will fall, so our victory is secure. So, I mean, some of those, I don't need to worry about them. They've kind of been defeated. They were defeated before me, and I just got defeated them as well. But we do still have the Crystal Empire left to deal with, so we'll deal with them. Woo! But I'm recording this, like, right after I've finished them, and I am kind of exhausted. I spent a long while doing that, but I'm done with that part, at least. The Jewels of Equestria. Are you guys pushing? No? Why aren't you guys pushing? Why are you guys just sitting there? What is wrong with you? Oh, you guys don't actually have a war goal. I think you do. What? Oh, wait. You guys. No, you guys do. There we go. Good. The Jewels of Equestria. Equestria has changed. Where there was once farmland and mere peasant villages, there are now sprawling cities with millions of ponies, all in a single place. These are the new Jewels of Equestria, and they are ours to claim. All we have to do is go and take them for ourselves. Yes. Yes, indeed. Maybe one day I'll have war score or war support, but right now I still have a lot of bad downsides going on. But you know, it'll be dealt with eventually, and this will just gain compliance and lose resistance in equestrian cities. Or the major ones, apparently. Oh, there we go. Nice. Alright, now you guys come over here, and you guys come over here. Come on. Fate of the Pillars. Rockhoof, Meadowbrook, Flash Magnus, Samnubla, Mistbane, Starswirl, even Styrigian, the one who originally brought them together to banish us. We have them all now, and their fates are ours to decide. Finally, they will get their just due for their crimes all those years ago. Now all we gotta decide is what to do with them. Hey, anyone know what we should do with them? I got an idea. Anyone? Let's just throw them out. Yeah, they'll be fine. We have war support! And those ones are going down. See, if all those go away, that's like 100 minuses overall just there from those. If all those go away, we're at 100 war support again. So like, eventually we should be fine. It's just very much eventually. But as long as we remain at peace, which I don't know if we will, but as long as we do, we should be fine for a while. I'm not worried about that right now. As the ancient creatures in the abyss get your revenge over 1,000 years in the making. Fate of the Pillars of Equestria. Where's Sonata? Adiago asked impatiently as she waited above the grass. I thought we agreed to meet here 15 minutes ago. It was supposed to be their greatest moment of triumph, the banishment of their most terrible enemies, the Pillars of Equestria. The time in captivity since Equestria's fall had left its mark, all of them ragged even for their age. All except for the two missing members Sonata was tasked with bringing, Somnambula and Tygean. Without her and them, they couldn't finally get the revenge she'd been waiting far too long for. Clearly, Adiago would need to beat punctuality into her thick skull when this was over. After a painstaking amount of time, the familiar blue fin finally appeared on the horizon with the two ponies in tow. Both of the pillars looked suspiciously well for their imprisonment. Stygian even wore a coat to protect himself from the chilly weather. In fact, Adiago recognized it instantly. It was the very same one he wore when she, Aria, and Sonata had first met on the coastline over 1,000 years ago. "You're late," Aria remarked as she floated over to the pair. "What did the ponies give you trouble in getting over here to banish them?" "No, but..." Sonata sounded anxious while continuing. "I was thinking maybe we could, not banish Stygian and Somnambula." Oh god. Dead silence. She had expected a lot of mind-numbingly stupid ideas from the Siren, but this was a new, unbelievable low. "Are you insane, Sonata?" Adiago asked with barely contained rage. "You want to spare the ponies who banished us for over 1,000 years into an abyss? Did you forget why we fought this hard in the first place?" "Well, yeah, obviously I remember," Sonata said defensively, "but I talked to these two, and they never wanted to banish us in the first place. They just wanted to talk to us first and try to make us change. Banish them too for that seems kind of..." She struggles to find the word for the moment. "Unfair. And when have we ever been fair? When has the world ever been fair? It wasn't to us when we tried to take what was ours, and they're still to blame for that." Sonata folded her hooves, still not giving up. "Well, if the world isn't fair, maybe we should try to be." Adiago saw Somnambula and Stygian standing behind her, both staring hopefully at their newfound defender, while the remaining pillars watched curiously behind them. It was clear that, for once now out of all the times, Sonata was not backing down, but in the end every pillar gets their banishment, or Somnia and Stygian escape their fate. I'm curious. Let's see what happens if we let them escape their fate. I gotta know if this goes horribly wrong for us. I'm too curious. But first, before I go to that, I want to go and do Sonata Dusk's final things. Just in case this sends us to a new focus tree by completing that. In fact, it doesn't matter who I have in charge, so that's fine. Stake to the ponies. We've beaten the ponies, forced the equestrians to serve us, but there is still the matter of the old regime to think about. Ponies loved their princesses, some seeing them as deities that protected them. But now, let's see how they feel about us. Probably not that great, judging by how we got rid of those very, deities that protected them. Or, well, not got rid of them, but, well, we defeated them. Well, we stopped their rule, so... At some point, I've got to defeat these, just because this beautiful just me feels like it's being ruined by these two nations just sitting there. That takes so long. And I might just get war goals on them later anyways. So I kinda don't want to do that, but I kinda do, so it's like... eh. I don't know why Makuya has that province. That's just such a random province for them to own. Situation of the ponies. Sonata was tired. Over the past few weeks, she had been going out across Equestria, seeing her old homeland, and visiting the ponies that now served her, Aria and Adiago. And unfortunately, that trip, barring a few exceptions, was riddled with what was obvious to any ponies. The ponies did not want them, or were at least skeptical of their role. While the second rise of Nightmare Moon had disillusioned many in society, especially the Thresholds, who were not loyal to her, there were still many others who believed in Celestia, willing to fight to undermine them at every turn. And not to mention the new Lunarist radicals created from it. While they had experience in rooting such ponies out from Chiriptera, even Sonata knew what the acts of defiance and resistance meant. The future would not be easy, at least for many of them. The ponies would need to realize that things were just better this way. Adiago had taught Sonata that as a siren they needed to rule, and she didn't have any doubt about that. At least she got banished for acting in her true nature, and not for arguing with her sister. And some ponies did seem to recognize her as a new ruler, offering to help against those who still fought against the song. But things like these were future Sonata to decide and think about. Right now, back on Mount Ares, she needed some sleep. Well, it's not much, but it's a start. So we're removing the siren occupation. And yet, ultimately, the opinion they have of us is ultimately irrelevant. We choose the future. We call the shots. We lead and they follow us. Whatever we say goes, and that is how sirens rule. It is not a question of whether they will follow us, but how we will tell them to. Sure. Man, these are some interesting borders I have. I say they look beautiful. One day I'll have war support. One day. It's just gonna take a very, very long time because of, like, that. I probably need to, fight back against it at some point, but... In fact, I think I'm gonna save for war propaganda, just to try to build it back up some. The future of us and them. Oh. Phone. Phone, phone, phone. Phone, phone. Oh, we love a phone going off that I can't answer. Because I know it's a scammer. Oh, 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 oh. It's a scammer. Yes, we know. Oh, 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 oh. It's a scammer, yo 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 yo. Please leave a message after the tone. Beep do 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 do. It's a scammer, yeah. The future of us and them. Mortals were such an odd thing, at least to Sonata. They died so quickly, yet they had managed to do so much over 1,000 years. Even if they were still led by an immortal, it was the regular ponies and other creatures that created new spells, new inventions, new music. Their empires rose and fell, and while some thought themselves worthy enough to rule, others were content to follow and be forgotten in history, much like Sonata herself almost was. By everything that she knew, they should have done almost nothing, but everything now contradicted that statement. And none did more than the simple fact of the nature of the sirens. Adiago kept telling her that mortals were nothing, and that they were disposable servants, and nothing more, meant to be ruled over as crowds to adore them. And while, yeah, that seemed part was true with how much conflict the world had seen without them, there was something else. Sonata and all three of them got their powers from mortals. They fed off their hatred to gain power. Without them, they'd be completely powerless. Magicless sirens in a magic-filled world. The truth that Sonata had finally found, and maybe that Arya and Adiago had known but not spoken for a long time, was that they needed mortals as much as mortals needed them. Perhaps Sonata actually known that the whole time, with how she felt the need to always want more of them, when Arya and Adiago wanted less. But that was what it came down to now. How should they be treated? The wars with Equestria were over, and the threats to their survival finished. This was all that was left now. Could mortals be nothing more than servants to rightful siren masters? Or, Sonata wondered, could there be something more, something a siren needed to protect? Our relationship is simple. They eternally serve us, master and servant. Or, we are meant to take care of them as much as they do us. I mean, this one's better for me in just about every way. It gives me political power, it gives me magic drift, and it gives me war support. Those are all things I need. This gives me stability. It loses me war support. It loses me magic drift. Like, I don't want any of those things. But I still kind of want to do this just because I've been kind of... Strangely, I've been kind of doing this playthrough where she's not the lead, but she's somehow been able to, like, undermine them and get what she wanted anyways. So I'm gonna do this, even though it's the wrong play. Together forever. The relationship between Siren and Lesser had been solidified as one of a strange partnership, with the Sirens acting as guardians and rulers in return for the complete loyalty of the creatures inherently below them. The Sirens still rule with absolute authority, and the regime still functions to give them power, but much of the cruelty has been replaced with mere indifference, or perhaps the slightest hint of care. Tools should not be broken, after all. Recapitulation. A time is coming to a close. This is not the ending, but is it an ending nonetheless? I've done a lot, and I guess I've learned a lot too. Maybe I should look back and see everything now that we've won. There's still a lot to think about, after all. And I think for now, I'm gonna increase army infighting, just to get some more magic drift. Keep it in the positive instead of at 0. I don't like being at 0. Alright. And then after this... Well, actually, I want to do that. That's one that is, yeah, that's one I can do. These ones I legitimately can't do, because I was never in a faction with the United Changeling Hives, and we can't negotiate them since they don't exist and we're not in a faction with them. So, yeah, not that one's not happening, but you know, oh well. I'm not trying to race for the bomb right now. Sonata's Requiem. You know what? Whatever. Sure. I have race for the bomb. We've taken upon ourselves to be the first nation to successfully deploy an atomic weapon, except I don't care. Sonata's Requiem. It was over. Well, kind of. Equestria was gone, but there was still a ton left to do for everyone. Especially her. Just because they won didn't mean it would be any easier, but at least for right now, there was quiet. Nothing to do, no one to meet, just her alone in silence. Sonata was never one for introspection, it just seemed boring and pointless to her, where there was a ton of better things to do. Why worry about what was in the past? She had made some mistakes, sure, but nothing that really mattered in the end. Nothing needed to change, and everything was fine. Everything was as it should be. And that was enough for Sonata. After a few more seconds of deep thinking, she got up to get a taco. At least that would be more useful than whatever she thought she was doing right now. This is how the world is meant to be. So we can't do the partition. The war is over, but our rule is not secure yet. The changelings did play a part in defeating the Equestrians, and they expect their share of the spoils. They do not trust us anymore near actual negotiations, so we will send a constant to discuss the terms of Equestrian land and ponies. The fate of the Pillars of Equestria will, of course, be non-negotiable. We also can't do. Our alliance was always meant to be temporary, a means to an end, until we inevitably backstab them, and bring them into our musical fold. But pacifying Equestria will take time, and the long war against our former allies is not of interest at the moment. One way or another, our relationship with our new mates must be resolved. So we can't do either of those. Which, oh well. So now we switch over to area. The elites of Equestria. Equestria has fallen, but its creatures remain. The process of integrating them as another part of our lands will be long and unfeasible in any reasonable amount of time. That does not mean we cannot start taking the first steps, though. The elites of former Equestria would be a good start. We just need to decide exactly who or whom. I don't know. Alright, well, let's decide. And then we've got one last focus on this one. I don't know if there's more. I have no idea. I hope there's more. Though this is already a long series, so if there's not more, oh well. But I mean, so far every time I've done a war with Equestria, it's ended up being, yay, I've done it. Oh, well, that's the end. Well, I just spent a whole bunch of my own free time fighting Equestria, and now all it did was allow me to see the very end of the focus tree. Well, like, it keeps happening. Like, I don't really love repeatedly fighting Equestria for no reason. I mean, there's reason for each focus tree. It's just I keep having to fight them over and over. The Equestrian elite. The two proposals laid before Aria was certainly interesting. That much was sure for her. With the spell sung, any previous blame or resentment towards the Sirens themselves had magically vanished overnight, replaced with the shifting blame towards anyone else possible. The changelings, the griffins, their own fellow ponies, none were free from the accusations of causing their defeat. What was once angered cries of outrage towards her by the important equines loyal to their nation became relentless flattery and offers of obedience in attempts to gain an edge themselves on their rivals. Not every offer was worth her time, obviously. Countless of them had been made slowly whittled down, first by trusted thralls and then herself, until she was just left with the industrialists and the nobles. The former, looking to make a new profit, offered their possessions and their influence to further stabilize major cities of Equestria. A certainly worthwhile idea. On the other hoof, the unscrupulous nobles left were willing to provide their valued service in subduing all of occupied Equestria, a long-term idea with a long-term support. Fortunately, with resources stretched thin, she could only reasonably accept one of their ideas for the moment. With Adiago and Sonata out of the picture for this, thankfully, the choice was completely up to Aria. The industrialists have the focus we need, or with the nobility we can cover a much larger area. We'll just keep with the industrialists. Nothing can stop us now. Oh. Except getting distracted by setting up, factories. Nothing can stop us now. The ponies are ours. Equestria, ours. Vengeance, ours. We have all we wanted more. Everything we ever desired at our hooves bowing before us. Our journey may not be over yet, but with everything we've done, all the music we spread to the unenlightened masses, nothing can stop us now. Ha 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 ha. I mean, maybe the fact that no one wants to go to war, that could be a downside for us in the long term, but meh, who cares, really? It's fine. I mean, really, they're just angry that, you know, we got raided a lot, that we had a lot of casualties, that there was a lot of enemy bombing. You know, it's fine. No one's really worried about that, right? I mean, we have plenty of convoys. Why are you so angry about convoys? We have plenty. Come on. The final. It was quiet in Equestria. Many sea ponies were asleep even before the moon began its rise over the horizon, leaving the only light coming from the natural flora and fauna that always illuminated the city. Only deep within the palace, the decorated throne room now barely used, did the voices that ruled across the continent speak. "We did it," Adiago said as they stood together for what must have been the millionth time, her voice barely betraying her excitement. "We've won. The pillars have been dealt with for their crimes. The ponies are back under our song, and our names are known by all. We have everything we ever wanted. We can't get complacent, but you're right," Arya agreed. "With the powers we have, almost nothing can stop us. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want. And no matter what we still have to do, we can do it together," Sonata added, clearly in high spirits. Whether it was forced or not was unclear, but the other two sirens paid it no heed. Adiago quieted the other two. "Yes, Sonata, there's still plenty to do. Whether it be Zebraca, Griffonia, or Equus, no one will be free anymore. We can't stop until this entire world does our bidding. The others would be proud if they could see us now. And we'll be unified every step of the way," both other sirens reaffirmed at once. With the three nodding, they raised their hooves skyward, just as the moon reached its zenith in the sky. And as a new day began across the world, the pendulum of fate swung ever further towards a dark future. A musical game to be played and won by no one. Where free will was alive, where hate was a constant, where friendship was impossible, a world where the sirens ruled. Our reign has only just begun. This is the end of Serena for now. Thanks for playing until the end, and make sure to keep an eye out for epilogue content coming soon. Ooh. Well, 1, I'm quite excited for epilogue content. 2, I'm not excited to play through it again to see it. I mean, don't get me wrong, this was a really fun playthrough, but if I play it again to see the epilogue content, I'm just gonna go /Annex Equestria. Like, I'm just going to /Annex Equestria in this console, and that's how I'm gonna do it. And if I go and see the content, because I'm tired of Equestria, especially. but this was very fun. I'm very excited for you guys to see this playthrough, to watch through it. I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're excited for the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.